Libra Collective, welcome, welcome. I'm Nikki, your local vegan tarotist, and we are going to do a love reading to see what's going on, what's coming next for you, what you're currently dealing with. This is not necessarily going to be about your divine counterpart. It may be, we will see. I do feel like in the feminine energy, someone is praying for their divine counterpart. So let's see if maybe some of the divine masculines are in here. How's everybody doing with the time changes or seasonal changes where you are? Right now it's shifting over, and I mean, I'm a Florida native, but I've lived in a lot of different places with different weather. And for some reason, this, I am not okay with the cold. Knight of Swords. There could have been an argument here. So the feminine, I feel like, is really relying on faith. With the Hierophant and the Tower there, it's just sort of trusting that things will fall into place. But we have the Queen of Wands and the Queen of Pentacles here. So the feminine is representing as, they're behind this Knight of Swords. Okay, there's a strange energy with the way that the feminine either views the masculine or the way that the types of masculines that they've been attracting. They're like, they come in really fast. Maybe they come in with sort of a lot of communication in the beginning, but then there's like nothing. There's dead silence. This could be argumentative as well. There could have been an argument between you, and the masculine could be over here just sort of biding their time. I get this sense, this dynamic, this sense of a dynamic that is like a masculine that has a lot to say really fast, but then they're sort of like, oh shit, I said too much. And so they're kind of like, I just need to bide my time. Like, maybe something slipped out. Maybe they alluded to feelings, this masculine, and the feminine's over here like, that sounds good, I like that. They want something solid over here. They've been wanting a masculine to kind of see through this maybe aggressive facade or this hyper masculine, hyper independent facade. It's not a facade, it's just the way that the feminine has had to evolve into being as a single feminine in this world. They've had to kind of adopt a more masculine approach to navigate this world. But there's a lot of really dark, divine, feminine energy behind all of this pretense, or all of this, what people see normally. There's a softness and a very feminine nature. It's two opposing elements here. Not opposing, but just because they're not opposition. Maybe they are. I get that there's some kind of confrontation, or something has kind of stopped this connection dead in its tracks, because maybe the way that the feminine is attracting masculines is reverse, right? Maybe the types of masculines that they've been attracting, they've only been able to kind of present as the Queen of Wands. Wands are masculine. It's the most masculine element. But really, it could be a feminine earth sign. You could be dealing with a masculine earth sign, right? Where it's like, yeah, I want what you want. And not like maybe following them around. These are powerful queens here, right? This is a feminine that knows their value. This is someone that knows what they want. And it's like the masculine said something to them and then ran into their corner. And I get the sense that they're going to come back and like want to pretend that nothing happened. Like, we're just not going to talk about that thing I said. Let's see in the masculine what's going on over here. Could be dealing with a Leo. We have Strength. We have the Magician, Gemini, Virgo, Taurus. People wonder why I say Taurus with the Magician. It's because the Magician alchemizes with the throat chakra, and that rules Taurus. Taurus is there. And we also have the Hierophant popping out, so there is that energy here that you could be dealing with. Okay, now we have the King of Wands. Okay, but the King of Wands isn't looking at this Queen of Wands. It's clarifying the Knight of Swords. So yes, they weren't just a knight. They weren't just like a coming in. Could be dealing with a Pisces with the Hangman, but this is someone who is in major arcana energy, and they are in a masculine, which is matching this Queen of Wands. So maybe this masculine came in as the Queen of, to meet the Queen of Wands. They came in as the King of Wands to meet the Queen of Wands with this masculine energy of Wands and the Knight of Swords. Very fast communication. Oh, maybe they thought this feminine was just into something superficial, because they didn't come in as the Knight of Wands, though. There is communication here with the swords. The Knight of Swords fights for truth. So, but they were operating out of a different, it's like the king sends the knight fights for the kingdom. And the king sends out pages. Holy shit, if I can get these nomenclatures correct. The king comes out, he sends the knight out. So maybe some kind of message is going to be coming at night. With the Hanged Man, Pisces energy, there could be something this masculine does at night. Maybe they work at night, maybe they go out at night, maybe they just have insomnia because they're in this masculine energy. But it is odd to me, or interesting to me, that the King of Wands is sending out a Knight of Swords, right? So you could have strong fire placements, but it's Libra is cardinal air, right? So there is this like fire coming in underneath this air energy of communication. It's just a strange message about this. So more Leo energy. We have the Six of Wands with the Hanged Man here. I think this masculine came in, tested the waters. Maybe they weren't looking for anything, or they'd given up looking for anything because of what they were attracting, feminine-wise, was just not... Suffice to say, it was not satiating. Some sort of appetite that this masculine has. This masculine could have like an appetite for knowledge. I mean, they're seeking the truth, and maybe that's why this King of Wands is sending out a Knight of Swords, because a Knight of Swords fights for the truth. And maybe there was some kind of test here. Libra, you guys can be, and anyone dealing with your energy can get low-key manipulative, right? Because you got to balance things. So when you're multitasking and you're doing a lot of things, it is very magician-like. You kind of have to razzle-dazzle so that people don't know how you move. So there's some sort of like not wanting to expose your moves, but I feel like this masculine caught on to the feminine by doing that. You could share Leo placements, or some sort of strong fire placements. King of Cups is here with the Queen of Pentacles. So yeah, more water energy on the masculine side with the Hangman and the King of Cups approaching the Queen of Pentacles. So it's like the masculine's coming in and okay, so let's get too deep here into that, because I'm trying to keep these as like digestible, quick readings for each of the zodiac signs this go round. But if you guys have been following me, you know how I can drift. Anyway, mutable signs are okay, so I feel like there's a Libra maybe dealing with a mutable sign here. Mutable signs: Virgo, Pisces, Gemini, and Pisces, Gemini, and What's that fire one? Sagittarius. Thank you. So mutable signs, cardinal is fire, fixed is earth, and mutable signs are air and water. They are the more androgynous, ambiguous energy of masculine, feminine kind of duality. They are the modality of discernment, right? So this is somebody who can go between the head and the heart. This is someone who can operate from, speaking a truth, but then also being very balanced in their feminine or feminine adjacent energy, right? Because air is like masculine adjacent with fire, and then water is feminine adjacent with earth, right? Masculine and fire and earth being the most distinctly masculine and feminine of the elements. Okay, there's that little thing there. And the reason I'm saying that is because I feel like there's something in your modality, the difference in your modalities, the way that you guys move your primary zodiac element, all right, your sun sign, the way that you operate that. So it's like maybe you are moving into a different placement in your chart, and that there's something about like knowing that in this Queen of Wands energy and this King of Wands energy, these are magical people. These are people who understand how to be magicians. They know how to move their spiritual knowledge into the 3D and create and manifest things in the 3D. So it's very powerful energy. Libra has that cardinal aspect in its modality. So maybe the Libra that's dealing with this other person, Libra's like, go, go, go. Cardinal energy goes. And then if you've got cardinal fire energy, masculine energy supporting this air, masculine adjacent element of air, then there's not a lot of room. A big challenge for Libra is to chill the fuck out, to come into their, each of our major arcana is like our biggest lesson for each zodiac sign. So balance, justice, karmic balance, and keeping things on an even keel is a challenge for Libra. That is like the greatest challenge. But that's also why they are the ones who learn that lesson so that they can teach others how to do it. So maybe there's something about schooling. There's some sort of like lesson here, but I feel like the feminine is more leading the masculine, because the masculine's in this more like ambiguous place of the Hanged Man, of mutable energy, of because the Queen of Wands is sitting over here like showing the masculine like you come in as the King of Wands so that I know you're someone who, Queen of Wands gets what she wants, the masculine, the King of Wands goes after what he wants, right? So it's like the feminine's like, you're the one that I want. Grease, maybe something with Grease or music, maybe you sing, dance, there's something with like performance art or like a collaborative effort. But these are like two opposing people, and what she does is she actually shows him, I mean, I think it's kind of a mixed message, because it's like, oh, the girl should be this so that the guy, but it's like, she's also like showing him, like, you might have mistook, the masculine might have mistook this feminine for being quite docile, or the opposite could be true. The masculine could have mistook this feminine for being in this Wands energy, like, I want someone who's going to come in and meet me here. But there's really like another part of this, because I'll try to look at Grease as not being a terrible message for young ladies to, change your appearance to get a guy to like you. Let's just say that the reason she was attracted, and this could be specific to your scenario here. I know I'm jumping around a lot, Libras, but I know you guys are following me. The Libras, if you have a cross watcher here, they might be like, I don't know what the hell's going on. And maybe that's kind of another message for how the masculine views the feminine here, or how the non-Libra views the Libra here, because they're like, this person's a little bit confusing, but they're intriguing and I want them. And so it's not just like chasing a drug. They actually want to, it's like a lifestyle change, to come into your space. Kings of Leon, Leo, it's also like a King of Fire, it's King of Wands, but they use the term like party to describe a female's genitalia come into your party. So yeah, maybe the masculine thought, oh, you're like hot. Maybe you dress in a way, feminines, where it's like you kind of entrance and pull masculines in, but it's like, no, that's not what I want. I actually want something that's more grounded, something that's more emotionally nurturing. So this could go either way, but I do feel like in Greece, Sandy, she attracted him because there was a part of her that was this Queen of Wands. There was a part of her that wanted to like chew her gum loudly and, you know, take a drag off a cigarette, you know, even though she's not a smoker. That's not her. And there was a part of him that was attracted to the softness in her. So there's something about your duality or your opposition. It's not an opposition, and maybe you came together, felt like it was opposition, went your separate ways. It doesn't feel reactive. It was a confrontation, right? Confrontation gets a bad rap because it's like, you should confront things. But people say, oh, you're confrontational, as being like, oh, you just like to argue. No, to confront something is to get to the bottom of it. It's to find the truth. And I feel like this masculine confronted this feminine, like, hey, if you want something more stable, maybe you should stop, you know, run around topless with your 4 titties or whatever. She's got like 2 titties on one side. But maybe there was something about the way this feminine was presenting themselves that the masculine's like, look, if you want help, then you can't do everything yourself. You have to like let go of control a little bit. And see, karmic justice is all about balancing things. But again, that challenge for Libra is to relinquish control, right? This masculine they're like, I can meet you there, but I don't think that's what you want. I'm going to go back in the hanged man. So now this hanged man doesn't irritate me as much. It's not someone that's just sort of like sitting over here, biding their time and going to come back. I feel like maybe this is a pattern for you, feminines, where you attract masculines that maybe they do this. They kind of like try to figure you out and they try to come in with an offer, but they never do. Or they go away, they bide their time, and then they come back like nothing has changed. That's not going to be this masculine, because this masculine's, they're like, oh, I need to recognize what I'm about. There's something about you two coming together, if you've met already and you're in separation, or when you come together, it's going to be self-revealing about the way that you attract people, the types of people you attract. It's like, you know, and also not paying attention to the vessel. There's something about that. So this could be same sex. This could be something, you know, just physically different type of person than you'd ever be with. If you give a shit what other people think about what you should be with, or what that person should look like, or how you should look when you're in love. It's like, the squeaky wheel gets the oil. And that could be something about hyper independence, not asking for help. It's like, maybe you don't need to be annoying and like, oh, I need help, I'm a damsel in distress, but maybe you just need to voice your needs. This is a call to voice your needs. And this masculine's trying to figure it out, and maybe that is going to be part of it. It's like, you want help. Maybe you're a single parent, or maybe you just got a lot on your plate, and you know your value, and you know your worth, but knowing your value also knows, like, it's knowing everything that you come with. Excuse me there. So maybe there's going to be some kind of interruption. We have the Lovers in reverse on the masculine side, the World, and the Two of Cups. So it's like, what goes around comes around, and that is very karma. So that is kind of the essence of this. There is a karmic lesson here, but not every karmic lesson comes from karmic partnerships, right? So you could have dealt with karmic partnerships. That's where you got these lessons. And when you come into this connection, it's going to be different. It's going to be different. And I feel like it's going to feel different. It's going to look different. It's going to sound different. And I think that might be the holdup here, because The Queen of Wands can be, the shadow aspect is she can be a little bit superficial, just like the King of Wands, because they are wands, the 3D, the most distinctly masculine of the zodiac, of the elements. And see this world here, the feminine, again, still topless, Libras, you're the nudist of the zodiac. So, you always have been, and I always talk to you guys about that. But the world is fixed energy. So there's something about coming back to earth. If you're dealing with that, maybe you've been sort of like la 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 in your own world for a while. When I just saw that, where did I see that? I said la la la, and this, so it's a shirt. I can't lift it up because it's on the pillow where I've got stacked for my reading table. my very soft reading table. But it's la lune and le soleil, right? So it's the moon, the sun, and it's the moon and the sun, and it's whatever. But when I said the la 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 with the Queen of Wands, she was covering lune, which is feminine energy, and it was la. So it was la la la. So that kind of go 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 energy could be a bit like selfish, which is fine. We have to all go into that self-service mode because we can't serve from you're not actually serving anybody by being unselfish or altruistic, right? You have to kind of like consider your health, your well-being, your finances, right? We have to, it all has to be reimbursed, is the word I'm getting. So there's some sort of reimbursement. So this is maybe like the world coming around, this Two of Cups is like your karmic reimbursement for, event. This is not going to fall apart. It's event in reverse, which is the Tower to me in reverse, which means there's no surprises here. There's no like tricks up this person's sleeve. So with that magician energy, you've dealt with a lot of false magicians, one or both of you. We got 111, which is 3 breezy black beans. Say that 5 times fast. They won't see you coming, but they'll smell you passing. Okay, so speed 1, which is, it's that new rebirth of me, myself, and I, breezy black beans. So there's like a glow up here, but it feels like this is the exterior glow up. This is a value system at your core. This is a internal glow up, right? And the masculine's like, there you go. I get that sort of like sub-dom type thing but it's not in a degrading way. It's like this masculine, the student has become the teacher. So like the feminine led the masculine, like, come to me, my little friends, is Ventura, Capricorn, devil energy, but it's helpful. So, maybe you were attracted to this because you love animals. So there was something about like, there's such a sweet helping the innocent, but you had to sort of play some sort of game maybe in your work world in order to get to where you could be soft. You had to harden up to be soft. So there's something about that. And this masculine's like, loves it. They're a King of Wands. They love this passionate, sort of like, this is someone who says no and acts on it. This is not just someone who sets boundaries. This is someone who keeps boundaries, right? The Queen of Swords sets boundaries. The Queen of Wands is like her. I always get Sigourney Weaver, alien, flamethrower, get away from her, you bitch. This is the one who's like, I fucking told you no. Now I'm going to show you no. You don't want to be shown no by a Queen of Wands. And this masculine's like, okay, well, I just want to let you know this is how you're presenting. You're presenting as the Queen of Wands. But the King of Wands is looking away with this Knight of Swords, like, okay, I have to figure out the truth. And the Knight of Swords is an intention, because I was getting a Page of Swords with the Hangman, but the Knight of Swords with the Hangman tells me that it's not just a Page of Swords. This isn't someone who's just watching to watch. This is someone who's biding their time. This is somebody who is utilizing their time, right? This is someone who's just waiting. Now the world could represent like a window of opportunity. Maybe when they met this feminine, the masculine, the feminine had just gotten out of something. You know, so there was that like hyper independence, like, you know, I don't want to say man hater, but like a man eater kind of thing. That could have been the impression that this masculine got, which they thought was very hot. And they were like, all right, I'm in for that. They came with that energy, and the feminine was like, ugh, I don't actually like smoking cigarettes. I'm actually this. And the masculine's like, something about dropping the superficial, because what they're actually attracted, what actually called this masculine in, this masculine is attracted to feminine. So the fact that they came in to meet this masculine energy doesn't make sense to them. So they're like, okay, why did I attract this? And the feminine's over here going, why did I attract them? I really wanted like a softer masculine, someone who's going to come in and nurture my, you know, cool me down a little bit. I need someone to kind of temper me. So more Sagittarius energy possibly with temperance. But it's, I need someone like this feminine's ego was a little bit, not fractured in a fragile way, fractured like a force, like reinforced. It like reinforced this feminine's walls. But of course, you know, it's, what is that? Witches of Eastwick, and I do get a very witchy vibe from the Queen of Wands always. Is she a Virgo? No, she's a Taurus. So you could be dealing with the Taurus or have strong Taurus placements, but the Empress and Libra, or the Empress shares Libra and Taurus, or they share the Empress, whichever. So, calm down, Libras. I don't know. I'm just getting a little bit of could be, I don't know, could be open, could be, there's something that's beyond my concept of relationship dynamics because I'm vanilla. But I am a Taurus, so there is something about that. So it's like, but he is also a Taurus, Jack Nicholson, and he's talking to Michelle Pfeiffer. I couldn't get Meryl Streep out of my head, and that's not who the fuck it is. But anyway, he's talking to her, he's like, you know, you're not really a good person. You want people to look beyond that. Is that Witches of Eastwick? Because they're also in Wolf together. They have great chemistry. So yeah, Taurus, they're both Tauruses, but they, yeah, so something with the wolf. The wolf is also the Native American zodiac for Pisces, so Pisces is the high priestess, and then Taurus is the high priest, or the Hierophant. So these are the type of energies that you're dealing with, more Pisces energy. It is third eye and throat chakra. So they're seeing it and speaking it. About the truth and somebody kind of having, so that's like the divine epiphany is the third eye, and then the throat chakra is like it's the divine alchemy. So it's the magician, back to Virgo, Gemini, and Taurus. Okay. In one of those movies, and I think it's Witches of Eastwick, he's telling her, like, you're not a nice person. You're kind of an asshole. You're beautiful, and you want people to see beyond that. But you're not a pleasant person, so the only reason people would want or like try to see beyond that is because you're beautiful. So you're kind of your worst enemy, you know? So there could be some kind of dynamic like that. I feel like there was, or there will be, some sort of exchange of words that hits the truth for both of you, because it's like, okay, well, if that's my problem, then why are you attracted to me? Like, why are you even here if you don't like what I've got going on? So obviously you see beyond that. Like, for you to see all of that, you've seen it. So how is that my problem? But then the feminine's like, well, that is my problem, because I keep attracting people who are only looking at the aesthetic, or they're only looking at this presentation I've created. 2939, and that's more Jim Carrey energy. But actual Jim Carrey, not a character, even though Jim Carrey is the greatest character he said that he's ever played. But yeah, he's built this facade, and then you start to like hate this character that you've built, or resent it because it's like the problem. It creates a problem, and you keep attracting things that you don't like. But this person sees through that. I feel like this masculine's going to call this feminine on their nonsense. And feminines, don't get upset about that. Or do. Free will. Do what you gotta do. But if you get upset about... We don't get upset about lies typically, right? We're offended by truths. And why are we offended? Because we're like, oh, I don't actually like that about myself. 9 of Wands. Wounded warrior. Yeah, no one's the victim here. 9 of Cups. In reverse, which is wish fulfillment. You are the reason that you're not receiving your wish. Masculine or feminine. 9 of Wands. See, there's that wounded warrior thing. Stop. There's a realization that like, oh, I'm not actually the victim. You know, and you see it a lot on social media or just people out in the world. You know, I see it a lot. Couples or singles bitching about the opposite gender or bitching about whatever collective that they are attracted to being the problem. They are not the problem. There's that Page of Swords. And there's that... I was just going to say, okay, maybe this feminine reacts in a way that does put this masculine into a Page of Swords. And they're like, all I can do is watch because it's like watching a car crash. Maybe this feminine... There was a third party and the feminine chose somebody else. Or they were entertaining multiple connections. But then there's that Knight of Swords again. So we're starting and ending with the Knight of Swords. That is action. And see, this one was running away. But this Page of Swords with the action behind it tells me this masculine sees through the nonsense. And the 9 of Wands is the wounded warrior. But it's also someone who has fought a long way. And it's like, there is paradise beyond this war. There's peace here. So this may be a bit of a struggle if you're up for it. You know, I mean, there's a 2 of Cups here. There is an Emperor and Empress. There's a match, a soulmate match of the Queen and the King of Wands. And then we have the King. And if you don't like that past energy, this is for some of you, if you don't like that past energy of, we had a confrontation or they called me on my shit, and maybe you don't want to be with that person, maybe that was the karmic. We meet the karmic just before we meet the, not just before, because it all depends on free will and where your frequency is on whether or not you attract that. But you will meet a karmic before you come into divine union, for sure. So it can be in between when you meet your twin. You might meet your real twin and go for a false twin, because a false twin is going to feel more comfortable. A real twin is going to challenge you to change your shit. So we have free will in everything. So that's why there's confusion here, because we're dealing with some stubborn energy of people, I think, that know they have to change, but they're deciding if they want to do it. And maybe this feminine was kind of stubborn. I'm getting a lot of stubborn, so sorry to harp on you feminines. Flip it around if you feel like your person was stubborn. But I feel like when you came into connection, or when you do come into connection, the feminine might be like, I'm not changing for any man, or I'm not changing for anybody. I'm me. But then when you sit with that for a little bit and you're like, well, maybe me is a character that I built, and this character that I built is not actually me. So if I'm attracting based on this character that I built, no wonder I'm unhappy, because it's not me. You can have that realization and do something about it, or you can stay in the 9 of Wands and just be a wounded warrior. But if you stay in the 9 of Wands, your 9 of Cups is your wish fulfillment, the dream, the thing that you called in, your true wish at your very core. It's like your fountain of youth. It's the thing that brings you so much joy and overflowing abundance. Your cup runneth over and over and over. You can, put the thing down, flip it, and reverse it. You can turn that frown upside down, whatever. Breezy black beans. It's funny to me. What is the crop? crap. So there's something about beans, good for your heart. Maybe there's some sort of good for your heart. And smell, I get, is, you know, it's pheromones, your heart. When your heart is racing, when you are in fear, we send off different hormones, right? In nature, animals in nature can smell fear. So maybe you have a very acute sense of smell, and this is like your moth. This is, you know, this is like they attract from miles and come together because of pheromones. So this is like, that's how you'll know that this is your person. They won't see you coming, but they'll smell you. That could be a message to the masculine when you come in, that this feminine is actually going to recognize you by your smell. That's very specific, but that's because once you've done the work on your heart and maybe coming in without fear, which is that 6 of Wands, like I need to come in with confidence. I need to come in with confidence to lead this confident queen. So masculine, that could be the setback. Ooh. Yeah, there's, okay. 2, 1. It's like a countdown because I rolled it. It was a 5, then it tumbled into a 4, and then I rolled it at a 2 and it tumbled into a 1. It's like the countdown. There's something about that new beginning, and 1s are very significant. So you may be seeing that now with the 3 1s on the Breezy Black Beans card. And then it is the card number 1. That is 1111, and the 1 being right next to it as well. It's like a confirmation that this has the potential to be a divine union, because there's a lot of learning here. This was challenging to get through. Why am I rolling the colors? Brown. This is ground zero. This is going back to your nature, back to earth, back to your roots. This could be somebody from your childhood. I don't see the 6 of Cups here, but I feel like it's going to feel like a past life love. It's going to feel like something from your childhood. Why do I feel like there was more to pull? There isn't. Oh my goodness. It was just in the 20s. Now it's at 37. All right, so maybe you are 37. Maybe you and your person are the same age. It's like you're the same. At your core, you both want the same things at your core. But are you willing to drop the character you've built? We will see. Very strange messages. It felt maybe a bit specific, so I'm not sure how many of you stuck around for that. But thank you for your time. Thank you for your support. If you'd like to support, book a private reading, anything like that, all the information you need is in the description box below. I hope there was something in here for you. I'm not sure how encouraging it was. I feel a little bit like back at the start, waiting on communication, waiting on the words. But that knight did go from facing away to direct facing. So it is like they are coming in, and it does feel like it's going to be quick because there's a lot of swords and wands. But the expression, the true expression at the core here is this Queen of Pentacles and the King of Cups. Again, maybe same sex, because I keep getting like there is like this shift in power of like what it means to be a leader. What it means to be masculine, what it means to be feminine, what it means to be powerful, what it means to be strong, what it means to be independent. There are all these things that I think have shifted the concept of true divine feminine and masculine frequency. And once you both accept that's what's going on here, and that you play a role in that you attracts like, and once you drop that into a place of just being in your natural state, that is your divine frequency on which you will attract your divine counterpart. So that's for those of you who are struggling or feel like, I don't really feel like there was any progress in that message. I feel like it was just a lot of, because that's how I feel. I feel kind of like, well, lessons, aren't they fun? So we'll see. We'll check in soon, Libra, and see if there's any progress here. So claim it below or don't. Free will. Free will is big here. So, and that's the most challenging thing about being a human being that's seeking love because, or trying to connect in any ways that, you know, everybody has their own free will. So until next time, I wish you well.